the compulsive obsession with doing what I was doing overpowered any feelings of revulsion. No one had a clue as to what was happening for over a decade.
Jeffrey was arrested for indecent exposure at Wisconsin State Fair Park. After this, he was unemployed for 2 years.
You're just jerking off in front of the clown dunk tank.
So it says on your resume you like to jerk off in front of dunk tanks.
Yeah, and the clown's like, you call that jerking off?
And your last employer says you were stealing people's blood?
Yeah.
And drinking it?
And it says you're really good at Excel here, too. All right, well, I didn't like the jerking off in front of the dunk tank, but, you had me at the Excel.
But our hands are tied.
Our hands are tied. Literally, because you just tied us up.
By 1985, Dahmer's living with Granny because the dad's fed up with him. The mom who knows where the hell
No
she
one wants
is.
anything to do with this kid.
No. Dahmer gets a job as a mixer at the Ambrosia Chocolate Factory.
Oh, I thought he was like a mixologist.
No.
He's moonlighting as a mixologist.
Yeah. His own elixir, his own personal shit.
I guess Willy Wonka wasn't hiring.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
He said, I guess Willy Wonka wasn't hired.
After a sexually charged encounter with a random man at the West Allis Public Library.
So he's having like some normal consensual gay sex also?
Not yet.
Okay, never mind.
He's about to get into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has this encounter with the man where they tease each other. And the man slips him a note saying, you want to get something going over here? Dahmer doesn't really accept it at that moment. But he was so excited by it, he then threw himself into the gay scene, going into bars, bookstores, and bathhouses. At these bathhouses, he would drug guys. And this is very insane because he would meet guys out on the scene and then they'd go to like the bathhouse together. They had like little hotel rooms or whatever you would call them, little booths or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the guys would go there with him, but then he would drug them anyway. And he did this like to 12 guys. And eventually the bathhouse management caught on. And so the Netflix show dramatizes a moment where a guy is passed out after Dahmer leaves him. And the manager's like, oh, not again.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the third time this week. Calls the cops. And so then Dahmer comes in the next night with another guy. Hey, Larry, the regular room, please.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, no, get the fuck out of here, Dahmer. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You got to really act up to get on the shit list of this place.
A gay bathhouse.
He's seen some shit.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. He's got, cum sprayed on him before.
Yeah, a gay drug den in the 80s is like, hey, listen, pal, it's a little too much for us over here.
A guy holding his shotgun just casually. It's a little too much here, right? Kind of like a Cosby thing, too.
Yeah, except way worse. I'm talking about Cosby being way worse.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
So after his membership was revoked, Dahmer moves on to hotels.
They take his card.
They rip it up in front of him.
Your money's no good here anymore.
Yeah. Blacklisted.
His perversions are all coming to the surface now. He sees a good-looking 18-year-old guy in the obituary section. So he pulls an Ed Gein, and he goes to the cemetery to dig him up, but the soil was too hard. And he was
not
too
as hard as him.
Hey.
We said the same joke.
His grinder is like an obituary of like 18-year-old boys.
Yeah.
That's his
Yeah,
grinder.
it's like Ed Gein, except Ed Gein was looking for women.
Yeah.
Another thing he did was he stole a mannequin from a department store. He took it home and had his way with it. They had a little romantic fling.
Is he like Andrew McCarthy in Mannequin the movie?
Yes, except instead of Kim Cattrall,
Yeah.
it's an actual mannequin, and it's a male.
And it's not coming alive.
No.
And so he moves into Dahmer's bed, and they have a little bit of a sexual relationship every night. Everything was going good until Granny discovered it.
Nana, no!
You got some explaining to do.
He walks in, she's riding it. That's my mannequin.
Yeah, Granny's under the covers. They're both smoking. The mannequin's smoking too. Sorry, you've been replaced.
This dynamic is fascinating with Dahmer and his grandma. She's this religious old lady.
And he's this guy fucking a mannequin.
Yeah. There couldn't be more different worlds.
Yeah.
In the Netflix show, he's like, hey, grandma. Now he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Don't go in the room today. You can just put the laundry by the door. And then the grandma's like, okay. And then he leaves. And then she opens the door to go in the room, pulls the covers off.
Yeah, it looks like there's a person underneath, obviously.
Yeah, and it's the fucking mannequin. So then
It's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah. So then when he comes home later, she had thrown it away.
Oh,
and so he
okay.
freaks out.
Yeah, that's when he really loses his cool for the first time in front of someone he knows.
That like he couldn't just get another mannequin because your grandma threw
No.
away your mannequin.
He went
What's
through a
wrong,
lot
Jeff?
to steal that
My
one.
grandma threw away my mannequin.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
In September 1986, Dahmer was arrested for masturbating in public. And it happened to be near a couple of 12-year-old boys.
As a two-time champion at this
It just
point.
happened to be.
He was sentenced.
Unrelated.
It's a coincidence.
He was sentenced to 1 year probation with instructions to undergo counseling. Yeah, okay, that happened.
See you there.
And that brings us to his second victim, almost a decade after the first victim, 1987. Stephen Toomey?
Okay.
Suck it to me, baby.
Samsonite.
He picked him up at the bar, and they went to the Ambassador Hotel,
That
which
sounds-
impressed his victim. And Dahmer, they get fucked up. Dahmer woke up the next morning in the hotel room, lying next to a corpse. And he could not remember how he killed this guy.
You blacked out and just
Yeah,
killed the guy?
and just killed him, but could not remember. So he took the corpse to grandma's house, had sex with it in the basement, cut him up into small pieces, put them in garbage bags, and scattered them into different dumpsters. So that's victim number 2. Are you keeping score here?
Yeah, we have a big chalkboard. We're just marking them off.
Victim number 3, James Doxtator. They met at a gay bar, the usual. Dahmer drugs him and then kills him at grandma's house. In 1988, there was fourth victim, Richard Guerrero. He was offered $50 to stay with Dahmer for the night. Dahmer just ended up killing him, same manner as Doxtator.
Yeah, so these are like borderline male prostitutes on some level. Like kind of male
a couple
prostitute.
of them were $20, $50.
In exchange of money
Yeah.
to deal with this weird guy.
Some of it's consensual though.
Yeah.
One guy had car trouble, and Dahmer says, hey, I'll help you out. I'll give you a ride to my place. We'll have a beer.
We'll get the cables.
And the guy's really apprehensive, but goes anyway.
Yeah, I would be too. Like, yeah, I don't want to kick back and have a beer with you. I just want my fucking car fixed, dude.
Dahmer drugs him, except guess what? Granny intervenes. So there were at least some survivors
Is she
throughout the
catching?
years.
Is she catching on?
See, this is the question everybody asks. How could Grandma not know what was going on? Because he would keep some of the bodies in the basement,
Yeah.
and the smell would start to get really bad, really foul, because it's rotting dead flesh. When she would notice the smell, she's like, what are you up to, Jeffrey? He would say, like, oh, I'm just doing some taxidermy in the basement.
Yeah.
But it would make sense because he's been doing that since he was a kid with his dad. So, like, why not believe that?
Because he's,
And you don't want to see it either.
because he's a freak show.
Well, maybe Grandma was just like giving him the benefit of the doubt. She even if there was something worse, she didn't want to know what it was.
She knows he's exposed himself to 12-year-olds at this point, so she's just turning
That's
a
true
blind
too.
eye.
Yeah.
That is true, yeah.
So to imagine, how did this dynamic work? The show did a good job of portraying this. So Grandma has caught him with his new friend who's been drugged
Uh-oh.
in the middle of the night.
Something is not right here. I'm calling your father.
Hey! Nobody's calling anybody, okay? He had a little too much to drink. He's just gonna sleep it off. Now go back to bed. What are you doing?
I am giving this young man a blanket. And I am staying down here and watching him until he wakes up.
You don't have to do that!
And if this young man is sick, I am taking him to a hospital. Do you understand? Well, drinking is what you were doing, and God knows what else.
It's fucking unreal!
You watch your mouth, young man. You want to go up to your room, fine, but I am staying right here. And you can bet your sweet Bippy your father's going to hear about this.
You're sweet, Bippy.
I love the grandma
There's
and
some folk-
Dahmer's relationship. They're the new Aykroyd and Belushi.
Legends.
Yeah.
So a lot of his victims would be men of color. His first two were white, but as it progressed, it was Latino and Black, Indian.
Pacific Islander.
Was there a reasoning for that? Was he like a racist also?
That's what some people posit. They think that he chose those minority groups because they would be less missed.
Wow.
A white guy going after them. But he says that wasn't the case. He says it was solely based on who he was attracted to. I have a clip from the interview he did with Stone Phillips.
Where did sex enter in? To
Their
the killings,
butt.
Yeah.
It was a big part of it. My only objective was to find the best looking guy that I could. Their sexual preference didn't matter to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's
Did
nice
their
of you to
race
say.
matter to you?
No, their race didn't matter to me. The first two young men were white. The third young man was American Indian. The fourth and fifth were Hispanic. But it was just their looks.
Was there something sexual in the dismemberment of the bodies for you?
As time went on, yes, I did get there was a sexual part.
If
part
you
to
mean
that.
if my cock was hard when I did it, yes.
It wasn't soft, I'll tell you that now.
There's a lot going on there. He eventually got his own apartment on 24th Street in Milwaukee in 1989. And that's when
How's he affording this apartment? What's he?
the chocolate factory.
Oh, okay.
And he meets a 13-year-old Laotian boy a few days after moving in. He offered this kid $50 to pose nude for him. So he drugs the kid, but strangely lets him go.
Too young, maybe?
I don't know. The kid went home and the parents saw he was sick, so they took him to a hospital. And after he got better, they linked him to Dahmer. So then Jeffrey was arrested for second-degree assault of a minor.
Wow. So maybe Jeffrey did give the kid something, but it didn't kill him.
No, it didn't kill him. No, he just drugged him.
Oh, wow.
But usually at that point, he would have killed him. So
Yeah.
he let him go for some reason. On July 30th, 1989, Dahmer pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation of a child and second-degree sexual assault. While awaiting sentencing, he killed his fifth victim, Anthony Sears. And
No fear at all.
he kept Anthony's genitalia and skull afterwards as macabre souvenirs. Dahmer was then sentenced to 1-year work release program, and so the chocolate factory didn't ask any questions. They let him keep working there.
It was Gene Wilder in the back there. It was like, give him a pass.
I said, "Good day, sir." He would work during the day and then spent the night in jail. And after serving the term, he found a new place to live at the Oxford Apartments in Milwaukee, 924 North 25th Street, apartment 213. Things really ramped up from here. He's like in the zone, and he's watching The Exorcist 3 every single day.
Every single day.
Yeah, he's really relating to The Exorcist 3, which is about a serial killer.
Wow.
It's the worst one.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know they did sequels to The
At least watch the
Exorcist.
first
Oh, yeah.
one or
Yeah.
something, you know? There were 12 more men in 15 months. We're talking photos, necrophilia, dismemberment. A neighbor down the hall named Pamela Bass noticed an awful smell emanating from the apartment. She recalls meeting Jeffrey for the first time.
You know, me and my husband at that time was trying to get him a girlfriend because he thought that, you know, he was over there by himself and he didn't get out much and all this here kind of stuff. So he had said, no, I'm fine. I just want to work and be left alone.
She just gave a look like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice neighbors, though. They're actually like concerned about him and like trying to hook him up with friends and stuff.
Trying to get him some ace.
Yeah.
They were barking up the wrong tree, but
Yeah.
Many ways.
the wrong planet.
Yeah.